Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and in less than a month, it's going to be the 6-year anniversary of Shadowland being introduced to Marvel Future Fight. And so what I wanted to do is talk about Shadowland today and just show you where it's come from, where it's gone, but honestly also highlight how far it still needs to go. Now I know for a lot of you guys, you don't even play Shadowland at this point, or you do very little of it. You just autoplay it, you mindlessly grind through it to stage 35, and then you just stop. And I don't blame you at all. So as much as you might feel like, you know what, this is not going to change, nothing's gonna be different in this game, what I want you to do here is take a look with me and really appreciate how far we've come, and really appreciate. I hope the devs see this, and maybe, who knows, if they weren't, maybe they can still plan for a Shadowland 6-year anniversary update, because this is where it took a little bit longer, but this is where Shadowland came from. This was the original Shadowland update on September 21st or September 20th of 2016. This is the old UI. This is a very old video of mine, but look at how I talked about the game mode 6 years ago. Okay, this is like just a really cool sort of blast from the past. Shadowland dropped on us, and the community has been reeling in the wake of such an epic update. The new game mode is Villain Siege on steroids, and probably the best content we've seen since World Boss. So once upon a time, believe it or not, Shadowland was compared to World Boss as one of the best pieces of content in the game. Now since then, Shadowland has gotten a facelift. It looks different now. I think in 2019, Shadowland got a new look, and so this is a video here from 2019 where I'm going through and climbing up. This is March 2019, so about 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, it did get a pretty substantial rework, but since then it's got very little. But if you just focus here, and again, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but if you just focus here on the videos that I've made about Shadowland, and I haven't gone out of my way to milk the content, right? As I do with some other pieces of content, I don't go out of my way to milk Shadowland content, but I really wish I could, because look at this: 50,000 views, 109,000 views, 52,000, 74,000, 108,000, 173,000. I know it's a live stream, but that's still very high considering the size of the channel, considering YouTube's algorithm, and considering how it treats long form streams that are over 45 minutes, right? 2 hours. This one here, the most fun I've had in months. Build these heroes, 52,000 views. And this was when we realized that from stage 30 to 35 of Shadowland, you now needed to build specific characters because of those specific unique abilities, right? Phoenix Force, Spider Sense, Machine, all of those highlighted abilities. But really, almost all of these videos do quite well. There's only a couple here that don't do very well. But by and large, they do super duper well. New Shadowland 100% 5 years ago, 56,000 views. Again, this is pretty huge considering that 5 years ago, I had a fraction of the audience that I have now, right? So this is pretty nuts. These videos I made while I was on vacation, 40,000 views, 50,000 views. This is a lot for me. And I really wish that there was more to talk about with Shadowland, but there isn't, because there just isn't any investment in the game mode. So that's really where the tragedy strikes, because I think Shadowland is a really fun game mode, but we've literally been seeing these stages now for 3+ years, right? 3+ years. March 2019 was the last time this was really updated, and frankly, some of these stages are not even from March 2019. They're from 2016. They've just had a coat of paint put over them, but they're really just the same stages that they were before. But the biggest change to Shadowland has honestly been the introduction of Pierce. Pierce has made Shadowland so much easier, which is not necessarily a bad thing if Shadowland had kept getting upgrades. It's only a sort of bad thing when you now realize how kind of mindless it is to play it at lower stages, where you can literally just take any character in and you can body it, and it sort of just takes away a lot of the thinking, right? And it takes away that roster growth that the game mode used to inspire, because back in the day, right, these game modes would keep up with the increasing roster. That's one of the things that I've realized is, why do people say that MFF is boring nowadays? They say it's boring because the devs by and large have focused on game modes where you need at most 15 or so characters. Maybe you count the strikers for World Boss, right? 15 is 3 times 5, Maybe you count the striker, so maybe you need 20 characters, right? Maybe 25 characters tops if you're really focusing on the strikers, like ignore dodge strikers and increase damage to villain strikers. So maybe you need 25 characters. So 25 characters out of 250, that's like 10%, right? You only need to use 10% of the roster, and the rest of it just creeps up from behind like my frickin' hair, and you never actually have to use it. And yeah, that's probably why people feel more bored than ever. That's also probably why a lot of people feel like they don't need to push for tier 4s, because there isn't any content. There isn't even content that's necessitating getting worse characters, right? There's no content that's pushing you to get lower level characters. So why would you even have to build the stronger ones, right? There's no incentive in either direction to build your roster wide or even to build your roster tall. And I think that, you know, other game modes sure could be upgraded, but let's be real, they're not going to upgrade PvP. That's probably dead in the water. Shadowland, I think, is our best bet. I also talked about squad battle a little bit, but I genuinely think that Shadowland, again, I don't know how difficult it is to upgrade, but people have said this to me before as well. A lot of other games, a lot of other mobile games have a tower system like this. You know, Raid Shadow Legends has a pretty epic one. A lot of other games do as well. And these sort of tower climbing modes generally in other games are very well taken care of, and they're frequently updated with new stages and new mechanics and new difficulties, and most importantly, new rewards. So why does MFF fall short? I have absolutely no idea. Is it just more difficult to code than they would like, and maybe it doesn't have the same return on investment that they think it does compared to other game modes? I have no idea. But what I like the most that I'm not actually showing you guys right now is those Shadowland stages that we talked about, and I had made that video about 3 years ago, from 30 to 35, right? Those very specific stages where they have very specific requirements, where you have to use Phoenix Force characters, or you have to use villains with the mind or machine tags, which they've basically done to a lesser extent in Dispatch. And of course, we can see how valuable of a game mode Dispatch is. People actually build their roster. When they really care about Dispatch, they do build characters for it. And before Miss Marvel got introduced as a human, a lot of us, myself included, were excited to see a new tier 3 Inhuman that we could use to beat that stage finally and get that 3 Inhumans Dispatch reward for, to get those extra passive items and have that passive growth. Of course, that didn't happen. I don't know, maybe some players tried it with her old Inhumans uniform at tier 3, because you still get the tier 3 enhancement, you still get the stat bump, etc. But it's really those stages where we see in other game modes the massive success. So I really just wish the devs would take that as a hint. Like, it's just so obvious to me, right? We're talking Dispatch. Like, this game mode is so obviously, again, you don't have to play it every day. Some people do farm it every day. But the two things that keep it interesting is the fact that these, you know, different requirements force you to use different teams at least once, right? It doesn't have to be weekly, but at least once they force you to use different requirements. And this is the one right here, 10-3, clear with 3 Inhuman characters. But then also because the rewards, right? You can actually get premium rewards of all different varieties. You can get premium cards, you can get premium CTPs, you can get premium, you can get Odin's Blessing. All of this stuff, by the way, is missing from Shadowland. The only thing you can possibly get in Shadowland is a CTP or a premium card, but it's only in those Shadowland chests, and it has an extremely, I can't even show you the chest right now because I'm not past stage 35. It has an extremely low drop rate. Not to mention, they told us years ago, we know the players don't want a Shadowland shop. I don't know who crawled up their butts and whispered into their ears, and whispered that BS into their ears, but it certainly wasn't the players. It was probably some dumb executive, but they clearly do not know what we want. But yeah, it's painful, man, because they have the formula and they did it to great effect, right? That video from 3 years ago, over 50K views. That's not average for me. Average for me is like 30, maybe 40 tops, right? It's actually nowadays more like 20, but that's fine. But 50 is obviously them doing something right. You go and look at the Dispatch videos, it's obviously doing something right. The community is engaged and they want to see more. So they have to focus in more on this. Actually, it's not that one there. It's this one right here, right? Using these abilities and crafting Shadowland stages. Basically what I'm saying is all of Shadowland from 1 to infinity should force you to use these abilities on every single stage. that would make it so much more interesting, and that would actually make these characters valuable. Maybe you don't want a tier 4 Blue Dragon, maybe you don't want to transcend Sunbird, but maybe you buy their new uniforms and you at least spend the crystals because you need more Warriors of the Sky allies to climb higher in Shadowland. Because stage 20 needs a Warrior of the Sky, so you solo with War Tiger, he's free to play. And then stage 40 needs a Warrior of the Sky, so you solo with Shadow Shell, and she's free to play. But then stage 75 needs a Warrior of the Sky, so you get stuck there. You know, like, why are they so aggressively monetizing tier 4s with the packs and these other packs? There's literally 2 packs that they're using to monetize tier 4s, but they don't want to monetize the entire roster. And again, it's not like an aggressive monetization because half of the Warriors of the Sky are free to play, right? It's not like there's any one specific ability that's super rare, right? Probably the rarest one is Cosmic Cube, and even that one has, actually, no, it's not even that rare, but it's Captain America and Hydra, Red Skull. Like, you know what I mean? So it's not even gonna be. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. So yeah, I really want them to upgrade Shadowlands. It's 6 years now, and it's been about 3 years. It's been about 3.5 years since they upgraded it because it was March 2019. I'm really hoping for something here. And I was thinking also maybe, long shot here, very long shot, but Daredevil apparently has a cameo in She-Hulk. Daredevil was also highly linked to the Shadowlands update, right? Because you know, he's the one that you fight at the final stage 35, which was originally stage 25, which then was 30, but whatever. He's the one who takes over the hand, you know. So yeah. Anyways, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching the rant and sort of the look back in time at what Shadowland used to be and how hype it was. And yeah, I think that's really the answer. I think we need more places to use a larger portion of our roster to make these epic reworks feel more epic. Because at this point, the characters are just cannibalizing each other, right? Why build Miss Marvel when you can just wait a little longer and build the first speed tier 4? Why build the first speed tier 4 when you can wait a little bit longer and build the second speed tier 4, who's probably going to be way better than the first speed tier 4, and so on and so forth. And then you end up building no one, and then you're bored of the game, and then you start to take a break, and then the break gets longer, and then you uninstall the game, and then you stop watching my channel. Anyways, hit me up in the comments down below, smash the like button. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.